My name is Dr. Danielle Shore. I am a lecturer here in the Department of Experimental Psychology at the University of Oxford, and I am also a researcher in the Emotion and Social Relations Lab. The lab itself is actually interested in sort of the role of emotions in both interpersonal and intergroup settings. So anywhere that you have sort of a relation between two people, we're interested in the role of emotions in those relationships. Emotions are often considered quite private states, but actually they are things that can affect others and also be affected by others, and we're interested in understanding those processes. So my personal research interests, what I'm actually interested in is understanding the roles of emotions, especially those communicated in interpersonal interactions. So I really want to understand what our facial displays of emotion do and what their role is in interpersonal decision making. I tend to look at this under the umbrella of trust and cooperation, so I'm interested in understanding how they might function when you're developing a new relationship with someone. How do they make you maybe more or less likely to trust them and more or less likely to cooperate? A lot of research that investigates how facial expressions shape decision-making often will show still videos or very short clips of sort of very prototypical expressions. And actually in live interactions, you just don't see those expressions occurring. So one of the really wonderful things that we can do with iMotions is we can actually look at these expressions as they occur in time live and actually record that data and decode what's going on in the face in an ongoing interactive environment. We use two-player games, so games from sort of the world of economics to sort of study these decision-making processes. And then what we can do is use the iMotions and Affectiva to actually analyze that data so we can get sort of moment-to-moment detailed data about the action units, but we can also get sort of comprehensive global view of the sort of level of emotional expression that occurs within these dyads. So when I was sort of looking at the different options that were available, it seemed to be the platform that was going to best be able to be adapted to suit the needs of the lab, especially as we foresee them changing over time. And so one of the things that was nice is there's this availability of sort of adding in additional sensors or potentially adapting the setup that you have as you have extra needs, which a lot of other companies sort of, they've got the one thing that they do and then you're having to put different systems together, and it's actually having it all integrated in one system is really, really helpful. The other thing was the user support. When you're using a new software for the first time and you don't necessarily know what you're doing, having that support available is really great, and there's online tutorials. And so if I ever forget what I'm doing, I can quickly get back up to speed on things. So there's sort of two key ways that it's really helped us. So first of all, it's helped us to get through vast swathes of data that we collect. So traditionally, when you're coding these videos and looking at people's expressions, you're doing this with human coders, and you're getting two people to sort of code those videos, and then you're having to look at inter-rater reliability. And obviously that is a very long, drawn-out process and can take a lot of time, whereas with iMotions, it's almost instantaneously. We run Affectiva and we have data. The other thing that it's been really helpful with is, again, when you have human coders looking at, it's quite subjective to a certain extent. And now what we can do, we can actually start approaching new questions that people haven't been able to ask in the field before, which is we now have objective data about what's happening on the face. And we can look at how much that actually matches up with the subjective data. So we can ask people what they're perceiving on a face and objectively what's going on, and have a look and start exploring questions about that, which is a whole new area, which I'm really excited about.